Hello, hello. So we have phase two, Operation Hungry Walrus. This is going to be the fourth game that I play in the campaign. I played another one today. Maybe I'll get another video out on that soon. But I want to talk about a game that I played earlier this week, playing against Chosen Pariah from Germany, the big homie. So let's talk a little bit about the mission. So the mission is prize fight. It's a mission where you basically have to go into the middle of an arena and rescue an HVT and get out. So we ended up playing on TTS. We do this whole board, put this arena in the middle. It was kind of like a really fun idea. We called the game at the bottom of two, and I'll show you why. But we called the game at the bottom of two. So instead of going through like kind of play by play what happened, I want to talk about some of the concepts that kind of came up during the game and how to sort of react to them and what kind of went through our heads while we were playing, and then maybe you could even take some of these ideas and bring them to your games. So let's start with just basic composition. I'm taking a kind of not great Shasvastii pieces. So Octavia in the middle, she's going to be part of this Nox fire team with heavy infantry Sheskin, again, a rare pick. And they're going to be with two Nox and a Ida. Ida's going to get Mine Layer. Ida's going to get the booty roll. She picks up some armor. Nothing too big, but the big thing that I wanted was to just shoot something with Octavia. I want to throw three missiles at someone, and spoiler alert, I get to do it. Group two, I got three Taigas and an Octifer, pretty classic. I have the Caliban chain of command because my Sheskin is my lieutenant. If I lose her, I can't just auto do nothing, so I have all that. I have two Ichadrones, classic little units, flamers, repeaters, regular orders. And then another kind of weird pick again for me is the Hajduk with the multi-marksman rifle. So let's take a look at some of the things that came up. We roll. I fail the roll. He decides to go first, and I know I'm playing into Spiral, so what do I think? I say, okay. I know Spiral has Janstar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make Janstar's life as difficult as possible. So these are all the templates available to me at the very edge of my deployment. So I'm putting down Flamer templates, EM templates, Viral Mines, and then all of my cheapest units are pushed up into little corners. So if Janstar wants to trade into one of these, or maybe even two of these, and go down, I don't really mind. Janstar is also in Group 2. In Group 2, there's only two regular orders. So I actually use my command token to take away one. They have counterintelligence, so I only get one order taken away, and Janstar doesn't get to do much in the first turn of the game. And actually, the Janstar is the recipient of Octavia's missile later on. But yeah, so just setting up ways to trade into impersonators and making the impersonator's life a lot harder is definitely a good way to fight a Janstar. So I got to do this. I don't get to do this pretty often, but the way that he set up a Choxa meant that I get to land a back attack. So I put my impersonator all the way up near his deployment. This Choxa is like on the very edge of the deployment. I'm assuming guarding it with the flamethrower. I noticed that its back is facing forward, so I decide to go for the back attack. So how does this work? During my active turn, I throw a order onto him. And we're here. So I throw the order onto him. He moves 4 inches. Choxa has to declare. So Choxa can dodge, it can discover, or it could delay. If it dodges, then I just shoot my boarding shotgun at it. I'm pretty sure that I win. If the Chaksa decides to discover, I shoot my shotguns and it probably dies. If it decides to delay, which is pretty common, then I just get to walk 4 inches behind its back arc and then spend another order and take it out in close combat. So the reason I go for this is I just need to get rid of his regular orders. Spiral requires quite a bit of orders to get their links moving, especially if they take double links. So just taking out sort of loose orders and putting the Speculo in sort of no danger here is pretty nice for me. So, tough situation for my opponent. He has to escape a pin. So this Nemo was moved up during turn 1. I set up AROs so that if the Nemo moves, I shoot it. And what does she have to deal with? She has to deal with a linked Sheskin, so BS-16, 2 shots, and a Noctifer missile launcher, so MIM-6 missile launcher. Nima has the Symbio, so she can probably shrug off a lot of that first damage, but then she's still stuck in this pretty bad situation. So here I am, I think she's going to stay there, and he's going to have to use his other pieces, and he does this. Nima is 6'2", so if you can find terrain within 6 inches of you and cautious move towards it and just be out of line of sight the whole time, then it's great. You basically escape this really tough situation, and all it took was using a regular order, and you lose 2 inches because you don't get to move. This is a pretty strong thing to look for if you have like 6'4" or 6'2" movement guys looking for pieces of terrain 6 inches away. So he does this, gets out, and he gets to fight my Haiduk, which is a much better matchup for him. The Haiduk suppressing and mimetism, but we shoot each other a couple times, he gets unlucky, and he just doesn't kill it. But still a good move to get out of that situation. Let's talk about like an idea that I think Spiral players either know or like something that I think is pretty important, which is forcing range issues. So a lot of armies might just go with like Spitfires and 8 to 24 inch guns. And what you could try to do is you can try to force them early on to fight these like real bad matchups or like really bad ranges and force their guns to be like not as effective. So an example, this Saboteur, because they're 24.5 away, they're minus 12 to hit this Noctifer. The Noctifer is minus 6 and minus 3 because of cover, minus 3 because of bad range on gun. So pretty rough. Which brings us to this idea. We have the Noctifer and the Draw Saboteur. I think a lot of ways you can think about Infinity is like a rock, paper, scissors. This profile beats this profile. This is, I think, an interesting case where at the beginning of the game, the Noctifer is definitely the cat and the Saboteur is the mouse. The Noctifer is trying to see it outside of range, reveal when it's out of cover, hit it when there's maybe 2 other members in the link, and you're getting like a lot of value if you can land a shot. But as the game progresses and the Draw Saboteur moves up the field, then 4 shots, even though it's minus 6, the Draw Saboteur is now the mouse, or is now the cat, and the Noctifer is now the mouse. And I think it's one of those interesting ideas where, based on the state of the game and how things are going and position of board, sometimes things just become much stronger, where in the very beginning of the game, they were much weaker. So we have to attack a link. This is going to be a common idea that I think a lot of players are going to have. There's a link that's moved up. It's like an active link, and now you have to go deal with it. especially in Spiral. Spiral is sort of like put your links towards the middle of the table and ARO stuff. The Strahl Saboteur is standing at the lip of this building. All of my shooters could fight it, but it's not great odds, and the Saboteur is getting 2 shots, and we're going to go kill it. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start by looking at our Group 2 Taiga. Our Group 2 Taiga has 3 resources at it's available. It has 3 resources available. So it has its own Impetuous Order, its own Irregular Order, and the Noctifur's regular order. So with just 2 orders, the Impetuous Order and then a dodge, and then Irregular Order just to fly out into the middle, I get this, right? I'm able to hit 2 of its Link team members. The Kosil is going to have 2 wounds, so it's definitely not going to die. But the Krygel, all the way in the back, is definitely susceptible to this. So Krygel's going to try to dodge. It fails that. It gets chain culted. This is a pretty, I would say this is a pretty, like, it's kind of a risky play, because if the Krygel had completed its dodge and this chain cult doesn't go off and then the Koso kills me, then I don't really get a lot. But the main thing I want is for this link to break. If they don't do the same thing, then the link automatically break, or they leave the link, and if there's less than 3 people, then the Saboteur, who's on top of the lip of the building, isn't getting their extra shot, which is exactly what I want. I just want the guy on the lip of the building not to have an extra shot, and it's a lot easier to take down. Anyway, well, that's our little game. We called it at the bottom of 2, just Noctifurs and other things, just taking things out. And I think the story was already told. I don't think anything else was going to change. I had most of my pieces all still intact, and he was down like to very few orders. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys are playing the campaign, and I'll see you later.